Yes, it is I, back with another video on life's biggest questions. Oh, I really don't like this channel. Alright, what if Germany invaded America during World War II? Okay, let's see what this one has to say.
In 1941, the United States joined World War II and war was declared between America and Germany.
Well, at least she knows her history facts. Somewhat.
But why did the Nazi army never invade the States?
Probably because they were too fucking busy. Duh.
Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, where today we are continuing our World War series. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we're imagining what if Germany had invaded America during...
This is so stupid. The Germans were very stupid and powerful. However, they weren't complete morons, okay? Invading the U.S., invading Russia and Britain and France would have been super difficult at the same time. No army can do that, even today. In 2017, no army can do that.
During World War II, Germany was pretty busy in 1941. By this point, it was already fighting a war on two fronts, the Red Army to the east and the French and British armies to the west. Fighting on a third front at that time would have been practically impossible. It is clear that the Germans considered America to be an eventual target, with Hitler...
This potential target was definitely suggested. However, right after Hitler decided to fight Russia, it was thrown out the window because, I don't know. It was insane to do. Duh.
Often hoping to team up with the British to eventually attack the States as a team. However, hopes of this quickly died when the UK declared war.
Okay. The only reason why the British actually left or got into World War II was because the Germans trespassed on their property in Europe, and the British declared war on whoever stepped onto their land, and they invaded. And that's how the Germans and the British started fighting. They were fighting France, by the way. They were trying to go to France, but they also got Britain involved. But Britain didn't have to be involved in the first place if they would have just fought France right on through. They used the Blitz, so I don't see a problem with it.
In 1941, Germany did still hope for military success. They chose their moment to declare war on America just days after the fellow power Axis ally Japan hit the United States soil in the Pearl Harbor attack.
Oh man, so many Germans died that day.
Anything, they were hoping that Japan could focus on the American threat. However, there were some vague plans to attack the United States land when the army wasn't so occupied.
Okay. Let's say that the Germans did not invade Russia. What would have happened? Well, in that scenario, I can guarantee you this. France would have still fallen. Britain would have definitely fallen. So D-Day would never happen. Now, if at that point, Germany and Japan started fighting the U.S., the U.S. really wouldn't have much of a chance and plus, Germany was being supplied by Russia until they were backstabbed. In the German-Soviet Treaty Pact, they were to help each other in desperate times. And if they can, send troops, send resources, send whatever they can to help their friend or their ally. Japan was attacking China and corrupting China, which was not really that, helpful to them. So let's continue with this. And by the way, Germany, 1941 versus America 1941 in a land battle, if it was all in all, like all of Germany, all of US, the Germans would legit just walk through US. Even 2 years into the war, 34, the Germans still outclassed the Marines and the U.S. military. It was just like awful because the U.S. was not really expecting to get into another war with Germany.
They would have entered through Canada via a planned capture of Greenland.
I like how she suggests going through Canada and Greenland, like they're gonna be able to do that. I guess this woman has never heard of a winter storm or a blizzard.
Then, eventually down the fifth column. They also saw Pearl Harbor as key, and had they destabilized the Red Army, they would have sent...
They would have never disabled the Red Army. You would have to fought every single Russian in order to do that. Like, they would rather die rather than... You know what? The Germans were so stupid to even invade Russia because they were helping them. They were literally supplying them. And if Russia and Germany did not fight each other, there would literally be no end to the Axis powers.
Troops over the Russian land to Alaska and down into...
Again, not gonna happen.
...the rest of the state.
And she's talking about going into Siberia. Really? She's really that. Oh my god. Come on.
But of course, this was all just a pipe dream.
Yeah, a dream it was.
Had Germany decided to invade America by land, it would have divided up their already dwindling troops.
Okay, let's say that Germany never invades Russia, destroys Britain, and then attacks. America has no chance of winning then. Yes, they did have guns and they did have an army. However, it was not a big army, nor were anybody really trained like today. And a lot of people, unlike maybe police forces, like really experienced policemen could hold their own against a couple of bunches of or groups of soldiers, German soldiers, but past that, the German soldiers were quality and quantity. Very good. They were very, very good.
War to both the east and west in Russia and France, Germany had troops in Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, and Belgium.
And they were kicking ass in there.
Even if Germany could muscle up the manpower, if they tried to invade via the Atlantic, the Kriegsmarine would have been squashed by the much more powerful British Royal Navy.
Seriously? The British were weak back in the day, so... And I don't mean that, like, by a form of military. I mean by navy. They would have not just got destroyed. She probably doesn't even understand the understanding of navy power.
But let's pretend that they were able to get past the British Navy.
Let's pretend there was basically no British Navy besides wooden boats.
No way that the reasonably limited German fleet could tackle the 1941 U.S. Navy.
You're right, but a couple of airplanes which suicide into them can. Your explanation for them, please?
At this point, too, the American army was growing. By 1943, they had almost 7 million.
And they were almost none of them could match the Wunderwaffs, so...
which is over 6 million more people than ever saw battle.
Are you sure about that?
These soldiers would have been ready to defend the state.
Yeah, they would have been so ready. They would have been so ready to not understand how to use a gun in combat, nor have any experience. So ready.
Along its vast yet very defendable coastline. In short...
Again, not gonna happen.
If Germany had tried to attack by sea and or land, they would have been vastly outnumbered.
They would have been outnumbered. But again, during the war, they were outnumbered. Let's see, the total amount of soldiers that went into Russia was over 2 million on the German side. They had to fight 180 million Russians in order to conquer Russia itself. They had the numbers completely out of their favor. But you know what? In the Battle of Stalingrad, they were able to kill almost 2.3 million Russians. It wasn't even a handful. It was only like about 5,000. 5 to 4,000. 100,000, I'm sorry. I'm not crapping on anyone, but the Red Army really did not get why Germany went forward into Russia and started fighting them. But, whatever.
And their men
Yeah, that's just a thing.
obliterated. This would have weakened them significantly when they were still under a two-pronged attack in Europe.
Again, give the right scenario and the situation and the general and the tactics. You don't know which way a war is going to go. It's a three-dimensional, it's a two-way, it's a four-way it can go.
This happened, perhaps the defeat of the Nazi army would have been quicker for the Allies.
Again, situation and tactics.
While not exactly invading, Germany could have launched an aerial attack on the States.
Okay. Yeah, they could have. Yeah, that is true.
In fact, the Luftwaffe were considering a strategic transatlantic bombing and started to develop the America Bomber Project to create planes capable of going the distance.
They did. Although it would have been almost impossible to do that.
Striking. These plans were abandoned in 1942, again because of the mounting tensions from the two-pronged war in Europe. However, had they struck and succeeded, I can only imagine Germany could have met with the same fate that Japan did in the horrendous bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It took the Japanese...
Really? A nuke. You're gonna throw a nuke straight into the heart of Germany and expect that to do so much damage when you could literally just battle it out. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna have to agree with her there. She's not that dumb.
A very long time to recover from those attacks, but it would have totally...
But she also forgot what else would have to be dropped on Japan, honestly.
Devastated Germany. Whether or not the States chose to hit back with a nuke or not, they would have come back somehow, which again would have been another premature game ender for Germany. On a much smaller scale, Germany did try and invade with spies during Operation Pastorius.
Have you ever heard of the KGB? Or the Spetsnaz? Or the U.S. Marines? Or the... what was it? The ASS? ABS? No? None of them? Okay.
In 1942, here, saboteurs were supposed to plant explosives at key targets, including...
Actually, in Germany is also... This is a flaw in Germany. During one of the battles, or like, during the barrage of the British... There was a Russian soldier who was commanding the artillery, and he was actually telling the Germans to fire a distance that was about a couple of miles off. So the Germans literally looked like idiots the whole time. And you know what? He was KGB, which basically is a spy.
Hydroelectric plants at Niagara Falls. However, this too was unsuccessful, and had any actual damage been done, once again, American retaliation would have been too crippling for the Third Reich to handle.
Yeah, right after the Great Depression. Good job.
The only successful invasion Germany could have hoped for was an ideological invasion,
Yes, not invading Russia.
which they were kind of working on. In 1939, there was a pro-Nazi rally by the German-American Bund in New York City. This had over 20,000 attendees. However, the Bund never really grew to threat level. I guess America was founded on wildly different ideologies than that of Nazi Germany, that it would never...
See, Nazi Germany was basically a dictatorship, and America was still capitalism, so duh.
been possible to invade the American mind, and much less possible to
Impossible to invade the American mind. I doubt that.
invade their land. Ultimately, if Germany had attempted to invade America during World War II, they would have suffered heavy losses, which is probably why an already stretched German army never seriously considered it. There would have been vicious retribution too, which would
I think being hung is the least of their worries.
have crippled an already struggling regime. Thank you so much for tuning into this.
This is like saying if you gave Russia in 2017 army and tactics and brain, and you had given them Vladimir Putin versus the Nazis in 1941. Do you think Russia would still lose over 7 million people? No, they probably wouldn't even lose 100 or so. They would have literally just used their KGB and their Spetsnaz, and it would destroy the freaking SS soldiers.
Episode of Life's Biggest Questions. What do you think would have happened if Germany had attempted to invade the United States?
They would have failed going Navy against the U.S., but if they actually got the U.S. to farther out and used subs, that would have worked. Again, it's not a head-on collision. It's tactics.
Do you think that the States could ever be invaded by a different country in the future?
Yes, it can.
Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm Rebecca Felgate. Make sure you click the like button if you find this.
Do not click the like button. This woman has no idea what she is talking about. Have a good day, all of you.